From a student's point of view, just tell us what it is like to be involved in a system where you know that you have to take on this amount of debt to be able to get this degree, this PhD in your case, and then go off into the world and begin paying that back.
England is one of the most expensive countries to go to university now in the world, certainly the most expensive one in Europe, and it will affect your decision to go to university depending on your background and depending on your attitude.
There's a massive amount of chat out there saying, oh no, the amount of debt isn't putting students off. But that's not what I've heard from the students I've spoken to.
There are record numbers of students entering higher education. That is actually true, and it's because of how the funding system works. So we have income contingent loans where you don't actually pay back until you now earn over £25,000. But I think you make different calculations about where you're going to study depending on the cost of living. You're going to have lots of questions about how you're going to pay the rent and sustain yourself throughout university. What subject can you actually study? Going on to do a medical course, you're probably going to need help from your parents or guardians with your rent because you're not going to have any time to work a part-time job alongside that. And your student maintenance loan might not even cover your halls of residence. Would you follow your heart's passion and want to do a philosophy degree like I did or a history degree and not be worried about the jobs that you get afterwards?
The thing that I find quite difficult to understand is how less well-off students are prepared to even consider going to university knowing it's basically going to cost them £70,000. Because by the time they graduate with the interest on top, it's 70 grand. How do students manage to go to university knowing that that's what their degree is going to cost them?
I think higher education works a little bit like electricity. I think proponents and defenders of the tuition fee system are saying, well, we keep racking up tuition fees and people are still applying. And I turn back and say, well, of course they are. If your electricity company puts up electricity rates, are you going to stop turning the lights on and putting the kettle on?
So your view is it's a necessity if this is the life that you want to live?
It's a positional good. Higher education does help people up the career ladder. There are simply some professions that you cannot enter unless you have a higher education degree. Some professions you need a postgraduate degree to get into. It does open up doors of opportunities and it helps you develop as a person. There'll always be demand for university degrees, so to some extent I think pushing up the price tag for it for whatever the market can take is a very, very dangerous move because in the future, in the very near future, we might see a lot of the progress done on widening participation be undone.